welcome back to another edition of the OHIO Podcast Sunday evening roundtable discussion. I am your host, Buckeye Boggs, aka the Podfather, and you are you, and we're thankful you decided to join us this evening. The OHIO Podcast is brought to you by Fansided and Scarlet and Game. If you do not like the way my face looks, I don't blame you. Neither does my ex-wife. You can go over to scarletandgame.com, listen to us there, or wherever you download your podcast. Please make sure to give us a 5-star review if you haven't already. We appreciate that very much. By the way, this quarter we've had more downloads, audio downloads, in the last 2.5 months than in any quarter we've ever had in the, what is this, year 7 of the podcast. So thank you to all of you who are listening and downloading the audio version of the podcast. We really do appreciate that very much. We are also the official Ohio State podcast of The College Huddle. Head on over to thecollegehuddle.com where you can find us and 85 of our other closest friends from coast to coast. Today's episode is brought to you by A Place at Home Senior Care. Is your loved one recovering from a recent hospitalization, stroke, or fall, or living with dementia and needing support at home? A Place at Home Dublin provides home care supportive services like bathing, dressing, mobility assistance, and medication reminders, all in the comfort of a home. Learn more at aplaceathome.com/Dublin or call 740-472-8181. And finally, we are also brought to you this evening by MyBookie. Yes, that's right. Go over to MyBookie. Use the promo code OHIO. That's right, OHIO, promo code OHIO with MyBookie, and make sure that you, my friends, are getting the support you need with $500 bet back insurance for bad decisions when it comes to putting some money down on overs and unders in the college game. Joining us this evening, everybody, that's right, he is a good friend of the podcast. He's a good personal friend of mine. He's known as the Rudy of Ohio State. Mike Wargo is with us this evening. Mike, welcome back to the OHIO podcast.
Thanks for having me as always. It's always a blast hanging out with you guys.
Oh, it's good having you with us. Chris and Cory are back with us after our amazing game day watch experience. Cory, you have officially become, whether you like it or not, the online voice of Ohio State. 31,000 people clicked on you and quickly clicked off.
Hey, 2,000 of them or so stuck around, right?
Yeah. Hey, listen. 2,000 people watched more than 10 seconds of it, but hey, it pays all the same. The clickety clicks mean a lot. So good to have Cory with us back tonight, man. Hey, we did get over 40 subscribers off of that. So well done, Cory.
All me. None of you guys.
Well, I thought this was a great opportunity for I would like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know.
Oh, it had nothing to do with God. I mean, I'm just this gifted.
Oh, okay. Okay. Chris Wilds is in the house tonight. What's up, Wild Man?
I don't know how to follow that up. I really don't. I'll tell you, Eric, though, shout out. Actually had a surprise visitor today. Got to see Big Nut today.
Cool.
He was incognito, wandering around the Tiffin Flea Market in his Browns jersey and Browns ball cap. I guess he was the big dog today and not the Big Nut.
Was it during the Cleveland game?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what? Sense. Nobody wanted to watch that crap, including him or myself.
Yeah. Rough day to be a Browns fan, I guess.
Every day is a rough day to be.
It seems like every year, every decade, you know. I was on that bandwagon in the 80s.
Oh, my God.
Since Bernie left, it's been a tough day to be a Browns fan.
Listen, I haven't even looked up the Bengals score. Oh, they won. Look at that.
They tried to lose it. They really did.
Well, that's the Bengals way. We just bungle it over. So, but we're 2-0. Imagine that. All right, all the viewers thought Lisa was going on to be on with Cory. Well played, Sean.
That's possible.
That makes the most sense, actually.
It does, actually. Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. All right, man. Vader in the house tonight as well. Ryan Day's championship beard. I see you answering a bunch of questions after being in the game yesterday. I'm going to contact you this week, but I got a question for you. All right, guys, let's dive right into it. We're gonna get everybody's initial thoughts from yesterday's 37-9 victory over Ohio University. Wargo, you're our guest. We're going to start with you tonight. What did you think of the game? Your initial reaction of Ohio State moving to 3-0 on the year?
I had a feeling. I went to the Grambling game last week, and I had a feeling that they might be a little slow starting out. It was just one of those games where they're playing OU. You know how hard it must be to get up for all these kind of teams, when you're the number one team in the country. I liked what I saw. They were tested, I think, in the first half. Of course, we had to get rid of Ryan Day. Oh, my God, fire Ryan Day, redo the program. But, the way they came back in the second half. Now, I was at the game watch. That's a party atmosphere, so it's kind of hard to pay attention. But the way they came back, the 24 unanswered points coming back. And, Julian Sand, he passed, 300 and some yards. Looked really impressive. And I love the name Bo Jackson. He's really looking good. And hopefully it'll be like a Bosworth-like linebacker on Penn State or something. We get to see that play again. But I was really impressed. I like the way they came back and dug deep. And obviously OU's not on the same caliber as them. They're going to wear them down. But I think it's the first kind of test on how this team's going to respond to a little bit of adversity.
Go ahead, Chris. I know what you want to do. Go for it.
Okay, first of all, it was what we expected, Eric. It really was. You got idiots like Penn State fans and moron Michigan fans who are out there screaming, "Oh, they struggled with Ohio." Oh, let me tell you something. Ohio, unlike your opponents, Penn State, who have, I think, a combined ranking of 213th, and that's not even possible. And the Michigan fans who are talking crap when the one legitimate team they faced beat the hell out of them. Ohio is a legitimate team, guys. This is a team that has a defense. Are they a premier team? No, they're not premier. They got a lot of 2- and 3-star guys there. But you know what? They are a legitimate team. They had 3 or 4 categories last year. They finished in the top 5 defensively. They have a good mobile quarterback. This team was not a pushover. They are the defending MAC champions, which, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, the MAC might be as tough as the Big 12 this season, if not tougher. So I don't want to hear any crap, Penn State or Michigan fans, about how Ohio State struggled. Ohio State is the defending national champions. They're out there doing what they're supposed to do. They took care of their game plan against Texas exactly as Ryan Day wanted. They went out there, they padded the stat book versus Grambling because they could. And they went out there and they won a very good game against a very good team in Ohio. So Penn State fans, Michigan fans, get your head out of your backsides and pretend like you're at least this knowledgeable about football.
This is actually a false statement. That's not a fact. We only kicked 3 field goals in the game. If you're saying that that's the most we've ever kicked in a game, then you obviously don't know any Ohio State history.
That's what they don't know anything about football history, Eric.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so we knew that this was going to be some of the kickback from because you didn't beat Ohio 60 to nothing. We knew that there was going to be a little kickback of this, but this was actually a good thing for Ohio State. And they got some of their weaknesses exposed, which you need, like I expressed in today's video earlier, you need that. You need to know where your weaknesses are. Right now, and since Penn State's sports talk is here, I'm going to use them as an example. What's your weakness? You have no idea. Other than James Franklin, you have no idea. And so when you play Oregon in 2 weeks, you might get a rude awakening. You might get a rude awakening, and that you didn't see coming. right now, Ryan Day and this coaching staff knows they've got to work on their red zone offense, and we will talk about that in a little bit. But at least we now know that, and we can address it. You have no idea what you need to address, other than the fact you need to fire your head coach. So skedaddle. You're not making any sense, and good luck with that. Andre wants us to talk about Kennedy and what happened over there with Notre Dame. I'll say this real fast. They are having PTSD of Ohio State 2023. Last play of the game, the other team scores, wins the game, and you let it happen again. So, Cory, your initial reaction of Ohio State's 37-9 victory over the Bobcats.
Texas A&M got away with a massive hold on that last play.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Anyways,
I'd like to feel sorry for Notre Dame, but I just don't.
I don't feel sorry for Notre Dame. Don't get me wrong. I don't care. I just like, holy smokes. If I were a Notre Dame fan, I'd be pretty upset. But I'm not, so I don't care. Another team I don't care about is Penn State because they haven't played anybody, so I have no idea what to think about them. If Ohio State had played their lineup so far this season, I'd say the same thing about Ohio State. I wouldn't have any idea what to think because that's the honest opinion you can have about a team who's played a JV schedule. But we played Texas, obviously one of the best teams in the nation, whether they struggle with UTEP or not. They're obviously a top 10 team, talent-wise especially. And we played Ohio, which is a very, very solid MAC team. And solid MAC teams are somewhat like the best of the MAC is like playing the middle of the Big Ten in a lot of ways. And we all knew it. Eric and Chris obviously documented what would happen, and they were dead on correct about what happened in that game. But I had people personally asking me, what's this game going to be like? Should we blow them out? I was like, we're not going to blow them out. We're going to win handily, but it's going to be annoying. It's going to be a bit of an annoying win. That being said, a lot of positives from the game. Just a lot of positives. And there's a lot of things to work on going into Washington. They can't possibly feel invincible going into Washington in 2 weeks. So this is the perfect win like Texas was. You win handily. You won going away. But it wasn't perfect, and you have plenty on film to look at and learn from and get better from. You do not in week 3. Absolutely not. Just keep winning. That's the key. Win by 1 point if you have to. If they go to Washington and win by 1, it's a win. I don't care. They're still in the game. Honestly, there's a lot of positives and a few little nitpicky things you can look at and say, okay, we got to get better at that. But, man, if you come away from that and you can't appreciate a win against a really, really good MAC team, I don't know what to tell you. Just stop watching football. You're never going to enjoy it.
I got something to add. We're talking about Penn State and MAC teams. Remember in the year 2000, this is a long time ago, they went and played Toledo and got owned 24-6. So just because you're a Big Ten team doesn't mean that you show up and you just dominate a MAC team. And like you guys said, OU was a very solid, respectable MAC team.
I remember when Toledo beat the team up north, 13-10.
OU lost by 3 on the road in Piscataway, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. They beat West Virginia at home, who, by the way, West Virginia then just beat Pitt in the backyard brawl. All right? This was not a bad football team. And just because they're from the MAC doesn't mean that we should sit here and be like, oh, my gosh, this was a terrible game. Like, there were really good positives that come out of that game. And, Wargo, you mentioned it. One of them was Bo Jackson. Yeah, which was something we talked about. We have been stressing, and to get to see him run with the ones, he looks like a legitimate RB1. I know we're going to talk about that and so much more tonight. So let's do this, everybody. If you haven't already, please smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you subscribed the other day, thanks for coming back and hanging out with us tonight, or checking out this video if you're watching it after it's already been posted. We appreciate all of you with us this evening. All right, guys, we are going to hand out letter grades. Let's start first tonight with the offense. So, yesterday, Ohio State had 347 yards passing, 225 yards rushing for a total of 572 yards. That's a good. That was an average of 9.1 yards per play. They had 28 total first downs. They were 5 of 9 on third down, 0 of 1 on fourth down. They possessed the ball for 32 minutes and 43 seconds. They did have 2 turnovers. Mike, I'm going to start with you first. What's the letter grade you would give the offense yesterday?
Oh man, I got to hand out letter grades. I never did this before. By my yardstick, they got over 500 yards. That's a great offensive performance. So, I may be the easy teacher, but I'm going to give it an A.
A it is. Chris.
Obviously, I think we had some issues a little bit with there was a fumble, though it wasn't lost, by Jeremiah Smith. You had Julian Sand did throw a pick. Actually, he threw 2 yesterday, didn't he? Yeah, he threw 2 picks yesterday. Both things that we need to correct. I thought we had a few unforced errors. I'm gonna go with a B.
Cory.
F. No. Going B. I agree with TG when she originally said B. Like in between the 20s, they were fantastic. Saw some emergences of young players, and JJ Smith had a quietly dominant day that nobody's really talking about. Carnell Tate shows he's still a wide receiver 1 for 99% of other colleges. I think Brian Hartline did fine with the play calling. Saying had an up and down game, even though the stat line's good. He'll have some things to work on, but overall, I mean, the red zone offense does have to get better, but they're solid B because the yardage output is good, the production's good. It's just a few things we got to clean up.
Yeah, the turnovers were rough. The inability to score in the red zone was rough. Yardage was good, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like and Chris and I talked about this. We knew Ohio, you can move the ball on them between the 20s. That was their MO, but they tighten up in the red zone and they would get off the field on third down.
One of the best in the country.
One of the best in the country, yes. Very well coached team. So we knew that was going to be a possibility, and sure enough, it happened. So I'm going to go with a B. That seems fair. There. All right, let's go with the defensive grade here, guys. They allowed 113 passing yards, 67 of which was on one play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
68 total rushing yards for a total of 181 yards. You take away that one play, Ohio basically managed about 114 yards total in the game. That was good enough for 3.3 yards per play. They had 9 first downs. They were 3 of 15 on third down, and they were 2 of 3 on fourth down. They possessed the ball for 27 minutes to 17 seconds, and the defense did not produce a turnover in that game. Wargo, your defensive letter grade for yesterday.
Well, I mean, the stats are really good. There wasn't one big pass play, if I remember right, that OU got. And we didn't get any turnovers, correct? So, but still an incredible performance. They did great. Most importantly, they won the game. I would say B+.
B+. Chris.
For me, four sacks by our defense yesterday, by the way, which I thought was good. They didn't get a turnover, but just a fun stat to throw out, Eric. You talked about that 67-yarder. There was only one other play in that game through the air of more than 10 yards. On the ground, they only had their longest run. They had one run of 11 yards. They kept the majority of the plays in front of them. I'm going to give them an A. I'm going to give them an A. I think there's room for improvement. I can't give them an A+, but I think they were solid.
I think the fact that one big play, which if you were watching a live watch, really annoyed me, as y'all could have tell. I was very upset about that because I look, you give up a big play, fine, make the freaking tackle. Stop playing patty cake with them. it would be. I'm giving him an A. I would go A plus, except for that play and no turnovers. I think those are two things that need to get better. But I will say this: can anybody notice the pass rush is getting a lot better week to week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Caden Curry, we'll get on that later. Obviously, provided a lot of that, but every level of the defense is playing very, very well. And it seems like the defensive coaching's in sync. And honestly, I will say this. I saw that image of Edric Houston and Matt Patricia sharing a long hug before the game. Matt is already like a father figure to some of these guys, and already acting as that mentor. And I am so, as much as I had so many reservations about Patricia, I'm so impressed and so glad I was wrong.
What's the name of that guy that we had last year? Something happened, contract dispute, and whatever. I forgot his name. Who was that guy?
All I know is he was a whiny brat. Is all I know.
We got a great coordinator.
Yeah, we do. I'm very happy with Matt Patricia. I'm giving them an A for sure.
Chris, what was yours again, buddy?
I had an A.
Okay, an A. All right, thank you. All right, that's your report card. So to reiterate real quick again, on offense, Mike had an A, Chris had B, Cory had B. On defense, Mike had B plus, Chris had A, Cory had A.
And it's my first time grading, so have a little patience.
We're not done, Mike.
You're fine, buddy. Now we get to hand out Buckeye leaves, Wargo.
Oh man.
Yeah. How many Buckeye leaves did you have on your helmet when you played? Do you remember?
I got one time when I got into play against Penn State. So
you didn't get any
different. I never got many Buckeye leaves.
You did get one though, huh?
Yeah, for that one, because I did my block in the game. I believe that was a criteria for it. So
yeah. Did you?
They were stingy.
Do you have it anywhere?
No. My senior year, as I said, I got hurt my senior year, and I could have purchased my helmet, but that never happened.
Gotcha. All right, let's go ahead and hand out Buckeye leaves. Now we're going to go the opposite direction this time, so we'll start with you first, Cory. Let's start with the offensive player of the game.
There actually is quite a few to choose from, but I got to go Bo Jackson, man, because he got reps with the ones. He is emerging as a young star. He got me on the bandwagon yesterday. I'm fully on with you and Chris now, and nothing against James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson, whom when they're in the game, I will root like crazy for them because they're Buckeyes. But Bo is clearly the most talented right now, and he sees the whole better. His timing's better. He's just got better chemistry right now with the offensive line, and he looks great and explosive and can make big plays. And I give it to Bo.
Chris,
yeah, Bo's a great choice. I'm going to be a little different though, and I'm going to go with Jeremiah Smith.
Also a great choice.
Nine receptions for 153 yards. That's 17 yards per, in case you were wondering. By the way, he also had one run. Want to guess how many yards it was?
17.
2 touchdowns scored. Give me JJ.
Mike, your offensive player of the game.
I'd say Jeremiah Smith too. Just his receptions, he's really becoming consistent. I think he should get the Heisman, or at least he should be a front runner for it. I mean, what he did last year with our playoff championship run. But once again, too, Bo Jackson, really impressive. It's so great seeing a new running back just reloading in there and stepping up and doing awesomely. So, but I think Jeremiah Smith would edge it out a little bit. He's my player.
Since you brought it up, Mike, and I brought it up earlier in our good and bad and the ugly, shout out to Cory down there for giving me that idea from last year, and I've just kind of ran with it this year. Hope you're not mad about that, Cory.
I'm extremely curious, obviously.
I figured you were. That's what the silent treatment was all about.
Well, I'm just so upset.
I brought that up, that Ohio State needs to start promoting him as a Heisman Trophy candidate now. You don't wait till week 8 or 10 or 11 or 12.
Or never, isn't Jerry Emmings.
Right? Now. And if Ohio State's not going to do it, we need to do it. So all of us need to start creating graphics, talking about it, hashtagging it. Anytime you're on social media and you think about it, talk about it, tag somebody in it in the national media, throw his stats up there. We're going to have to do a grassroots campaign for him to win the Heisman probably, because Ohio State seems to not want to do that for some reason. So,
and Eric, they need to tag us in it too, because we'll share it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's time for us to get another Heisman. We have so much high caliber talent year in and year out. Was Troy Smith the last one? Nobody's won it since, right? It's time for us to have another Heisman, and it should be this year.
By the way, on the year so
100%.
far, JJ has 20 catches, 315 for 3 touchdowns, and is in receptions. He's averaging 16 yards per catch. So that's so far in 3 games.
Plus, he's got that rushing touchdown he got yesterday.
Yes, exactly.
So
that's the first one of the year. Is that the first carry of the year? Yeah, first carry of the year.
he's 1 for 1. He was like Bo Jackson for a hot minute there. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the defensive player of the game, Cory.
That's got to be Caden Curry. Just had his best game as a Buckeye, 7 QB pressures, which I found out just before we started the broadcast tonight, and a sack. Obviously, he's just all over the place. He got a sack from the nose tackle position and on a double team. He was a monster, and if he is, we expect Kenyatta to be really good. We expect Edric and Caden McDonald, Bo Atkinson. If he adds another element to that, where you could put him on the line and he can get to the quarterback from anywhere, just watch out, man. This defensive line is going to be sick as we go forward. So, Caden Curry, man, stepping up, playing great.
Chris?
Yeah, that's a great choice and one that I was going to make. But you know what? I like to make Eric work on these graphics just a little bit extra. So I'm going to take another guy who I thought was a great standout yesterday. That's Arvell Reese. Reese played a tremendous game. Nearly had us a fumble there at the end, or so the officials thought at least. 7 tackles, a sack, tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections. Great all-around game.
Wargo.
Caden Curry. That's really refreshing to see a dominant defensive line, and that's it was really impressive to see that. So I think that's a clear-cut choice for me.
Yeah, I think it became very evident as the game was going on that Curry was having his best game as a Buckeye yesterday. So
Eric, Sean's chiming in with his Aaron vote. Oh, you'd already done it. Sean's chiming in with his Aaron vote.
Yeah, Curry, Arvell, Bo, Atkinson.
Let's just let the whole defense share it.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on
Before we move on there real quick, Eric, one that should go out, a special mention. How about that offensive line, man? Again, another great performance. And for those of you who haven't been keeping track, do you know how many sacks they've given up all year?
0.
1.
Oh, wow, that's right. 1.
Who was that? When was that? Was that yesterday?
Sand got sacked 1 time.
That had to be yesterday, right? What was that on that 4th down play?
Yep.
At the beginning of the game?
Yep.
I love Texas. The Texas game. Did you see that one highlight where they just drove that D lineman back on skates?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was awesome. Like that was really impressive to see, because we know in the past, and you guys know more than me, the offensive line had some issues in the past few years, but we look pretty solid, and that's what's really impressive about all this. Ryan Day just seems to be reloading now, and it just keeps going. So they're impressive as well.
Shout out Luke Montgomery for putting that defensive lineman on skates. Yeah, that's a
I said okay, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and also shout out to Gene Smith for the terrible turf to make that happen.
Let's go back to grass, man.
No kidding.
Let's get back to it.
Yeah. I love that video when you get into the game and it's snowing, Wargo, and that was natural grass, if I recall correctly. The field was muddy.
I went about a foot into the field. There's a lot of mud that day, so
yeah.
Luckily, I didn't slip.
All right, let's continue on. Cory, the offensive play of the game.
Oh gosh, there's quite a few to choose from. You know what? I'm going to go with that deep touchdown. I think it was to Tate at the end of the game, because I was concerned about Julian's deep ball. Obviously, early on, that one to JJ that didn't go for a touchdown, that should have been a touchdown, was like he just like I don't know. He had to stop and eat a pizza and then catch the ball. And I was like, it just took forever to get there. But that one to Tate was right on the money. Started to alleviate some of my concerns. Like, okay, he can do it. It's just a timing thing and a mechanics thing with him. But that was one of my reservations going into the season with Julian, is like, how strong is that guy's arm? I know he's accurate. How strong can he get it down the field? And that one to Tate was on the money. So I'm glad to see the improvement.
Chris.
Yeah, that was an awesome play. I'm tempted to go Jeremiah Smith on the one that should have been a touchdown, just for the way he adjusted back to it. But you know what? That's become such commonplace for Jeremiah that I think we kind of expect it. So how about this? How about the kid busting off a 64-yard run? There's a reason he had a 12.1 average. When you bust off 64-yarder, that helps a lot. So give me Bo Jackson's 64-yard run.
He's actually averaging 12 for the season.
Jeez.
And is Ohio State's leading rusher, in case nobody noticed.
Yep.
Yeah, in 2 games. Wargo, your offensive play of the game.
I liked watching the passes with both Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, but I'd have to go with the Bo Jackson run. I still love just seeing power football and just running it down their throat. Remember last year at the Rose Bowl when we took Oregon the second time, that run down the middle there. It was just so that was nice. And once again, it's nice to see Bo Jackson really coming out and making a statement.
All right, let's move over to the defensive side here. This is going to be interesting. And if one of you guys missed this, I'm going to be so mad at you guys because I've removed myself from the graphics, so that way I can concentrate on all of these. Cory, your defensive play or hit of the game?
Hit. You know what? Since you said hit, I'll go with McLean.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was an absolutely textbook clean hit on a player. We're teaching these guys some good hits because we've been seeing it the last couple of years between Sonny Styles, between the safeties. They will pop somebody and they'll do it legally. And I remember not too long ago, we had a problem with guys putting their head down and getting kicked out of games. I'm thinking of, I know people disagree about this. I'm thinking Sean Wade. I'm thinking Nick Bosa, who launched into an Iowa quarterback's head. And but right now, these guys are popping people and they're doing it legally. And McLean's got a bright future. He has been a very, very nice surprise. Caleb's king. I get it. I love Caleb Downs. But, man, it's nice to see another guy step up like McLean.
Yeah. Thank you. I was so concerned we weren't going to go there, and I was like, man, we need someone to go there. That was a massive hit. Chris, your defensive player hit of the game.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from, I'll tell you. But and I'd been torn between the McLean hit and the big 4th down stop. I've got to go with McLean's hit, though. I mean, that brought me back to like watching Ronnie Lott. That was the kind of hit that was. That was a hurt you hit. I'm going to go with the McLean hit as well.
So, do you think that made that hit brought some tears to the eyes of one Caden Diesel freak?
I think he felt very happy. And I hope he did, because let me tell you, he was a sad little puppy the last time I talked to him.
Yeah.
He actually brought down my mood that day.
He Saturday morning he was fired up, so hopefully that hit was what he was expecting and wanting. Wargo, your defensive player hit of the game.
I'll concur with what you guys said. That McLean hit. That was something else.
Excellent. That's what we will do, and we'll put that in. Jalen McLean with the sweep on the day. Way to go, young man. Not 1, not 2, but 3 Buckeye leaves heading Jalen McLean's way. And I tell you, going into the season, I was very concerned about the defensive line. And my concerns about that defensive line are every single game dwindling more and more and more. Shout out to the legend, Larry J, man, the living legend, for continuing to do what he do and building this defensive line. They are looking good. Caden Curry was a beast yesterday. There's hardly any running room on this defensive line, and we know that they do a heck of a job in the red zone as well. But
how much longer do you think he's going to go?
My prediction is this is his last year. If we
I agree. I think this is the last season. Yeah.
I think if we win it, he hosts 2 in a row national championship trophies, and says, I've done my job. I've done my duty.
Eric, and we all talked about that big hit by McLean. Let's not forget there was another big hit in that game, and that was Bo Atkinson absolutely destroying Ohio's quarterback.
About knocked him out of the game.
Yeah. Well, it did for a few plays.
Yeah.
Yep.
That guy was seeing stars, man. he was seeing stars. Big Thor. Yeah, that was a big hit.
This is
Good
a
call.
chippy football team, man.
You
They
guys
like it.
feel like
They like hitting
Larry-
people.
Do you guys feel like Larry Johnson and Matt Patricia are just much better suited to work together than Knowles and Johnson were?
I mean, the proof's in the pudding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not hearing any rumors like last year, and there's something
No.
to rumors. So,
Not that I think there are rumors, but it wouldn't shock me if Ryan Day's like, any rumors get out, I will fire you.
Yeah, after last year, I think they were just happy for for Knowles to be gone. I think.
He sounds like he's a bit of a drama queen. I'm just saying.
Oh, we got a super chat.
From DK.
You guys coming to West Vegas for the game this year? So West Vegas is what they're calling West Lafayette, in case you guys didn't know, because of all the UNLV guys who followed their coach out to West Lafayette.
I just figured it's because they
I
were
thought maybe
gambling
they were
every time
putting
I
a
go on the
casino
field.
up. I was going to say, well, yeah, we'll be there.
Do you win there, Chris, when you gamble?
I do better there. I probably do better there than I did in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to hit it again when you come back up.
Absolutely.
So, DK, I do not believe so. Our plan this year is to go to Champaign, Illinois, to the Illinois game. That's our plan this year. We got 2 tickets lined up. Chris and I will be heading that way to be doing that and doing some cross pod nation with the Keeping It Blue and Orange podcast out there with those guys. So they've invited us to their big tailgate party before the game, whenever that will be. I'm guessing it'll be a noon kickoff, which means 11 a.m. their time, because it'll be a big game. By the way, speaking of Illinois, they got a massive game this week. The game of the week in the Big Ten, Illinois at Indiana. Huge game. That is a massive football game.
I think Indiana gets knocked back to reality this week, to be honest.
Boy, they look good, though, but they haven't played nobody,
Right.
I mean, if you line up Penn State and Indiana, I can make an argument that Indiana's looked better than Penn State just because neither team's played anybody.
I could go with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Indy, you just never know with Indiana. They're making like a mockery of the out-of-conference schedule. So.
100%.
And they're celebrating it. That's the thing. They are celebrating it. Now, say what you want. I do not like Kurt Signetti, but the dude's got stones. He's just out there celebrating this. That's
Now, if they beat Illinois Saturday, game on, boys.
Oh no, I absolutely. Illinois is a legitimate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will have to come on and apologize to the Indiana faithful if they go out there and beat Illinois this week.
Yeah.
I really will. And I'll be man enough to do it. But
it's going to be I think that's a nooner. So that's the big noon kick, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, before Nebraska and the Cheaters up north. So a couple good Big Ten games. And then the following week, of course, Ohio State will be going to Seattle to take on the Huskies. And then the nightcap is going to be Oregon in the whiteout over there in Not So Happy Valley.
Got some good games in 2 weeks, man.
Yes.
yeah, we do.
Yeah. There's one of the advantages of getting USC, Oregon, and Washington to join the Big Ten is you set up some pretty good games every single week now.
Yeah.
So it is one of the advantages of
You
it.
did not include UCLA in that, right?
I did not.
Okay, good.
I did not.
You just fired their coach today.
As
Foster
DK
got
would
let
say,
go, didn't he?
basketball season's right around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have an announcement for you. And then we're going to turn it over to all of you in the chat and Cory and Chris. We're going to get as many questions as we can in tonight for our good friend Mike Wargo. He's going to become the star of the show in the second part of this one. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If Boggs, Wildman, and myself had a team, we'd be called the Huskies. Oh, speak for yourself, man. I'm working on that, buddy. I'm working on that. All right, we'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll give these guys a break. Hang tight, everybody. Don't leave us. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Buckeye Nation. The OHIO podcast is thrilled to partner with Export Mouthguards, the innovators redefining protection in contact sports. Introducing the Ninja Pro Mouthguard, the strongest and most advanced mouthguard on the market. Engineered by dental experts, it's designed to deliver elite protection with a sleek, low-profile fit. Made with carbon fiber and multi-layer construction, it's impact tested to keep you safe from even the hardest hits. But that's not all. The Ninja Pro is 3D printed for 100% custom fit, offering unbeatable comfort and security for any athlete. From football to MMA, dominate your game with confidence while safeguarding your teeth and jaw. Getting started is easy. Use our home impression kit to create your custom fit and enjoy prepaid shipping. It's protection delivered right to your door. Plus, with a 1-year warranty and 100% satisfaction guarantee, and proudly made in the USA, the Ninja Pro is your ultimate defense on the field or in the ring. And here's the best part. When you visit exportguards.com, use promo code OHIO at checkout to get 20% off your purchase. That's right, 20% off elite protection made just for you. Protect your game, protect your future. Choose Export Ninja Pro mouthguards, where innovation meets protection. Head to exportguards.com and use promo code OHIO today.
Ryan Day's championship beard. I bet that OU player probably wishes he had a Ninja Pro mouthguard when Jermaine Matthews leveled him. Indeed. All right. And Sean, thank you for clarifying that for DK for us, buddy. We're big boned. That's right. All right. Wargo and I have a big announcement for everybody. We have hinted at this. We have talked about it. We have joked about it. There are some major changes going to be happening in my life here very soon that is going to allow me to have the opportunity to finally follow a few of my dreams that I've wanted to do. And one of them is to write a book. And we are officially announcing right here tonight on the OHIO podcast, Mike Wargo has granted me the opportunity to write his story about his time at Ohio State, his biography of being a Buckeye. Wargo, Ohio State's Rudy, is going to be put on to paper, pen to paper. It's going to be a book. We're going to start doing this about at the end of the football season. We're going to start working on that book, everybody. So coming your way, hopefully within at the end of 2025 or into 2026, depending on how long it takes us, Wargo, the Ohio State Rudy story, is going to be a book. Mike, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for doing it. It's one of the, if not the greatest honor and privilege of my life that someone would think about me that much to write a book. So thank you very much. Yeah,
it is one of my favorite stories I've ever heard being a Buckeye fan. It's magical. Chris makes fun of me for loving the Rudy movie. I do. It's one of my favorites.
It's my favorite on the whole planet Earth. It had a big part of my life. So, yeah, I love that movie too.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's good about it right there.
I got to meet Rudy Rudiger when I was in junior high. The real Rudy Rudiger, not the actor. Not Samwise. And he made an impact on me in my youth. And then I had no idea about Mike's story until one day someone sent it to me on Facebook and said, "Hey, you need to listen to this." And you were at an event of some kind, Mike, and you were sharing your story. And then I found you on Facebook and I reached out to you.
Yeah, most likely that was Marietta. Buckeye Bob Kyer, great guy, huge Ohio State fan. And, he asked me to come down, and I've done a lot of events in Marietta. He's a super great guy. And at first I'm like, you're probably looking for the wrong guy. I'm a walk-on. I played in one game, and he's so awesome. He's like, you're exactly who we're looking for. And I've done a lot of events in Marietta with him. And that was we had an event with COVID. It was like the only time we could ever get together. And I got to tell that story. So, he had a large part in this because he believed in me as well, to get my story out.
Yeah. So that's where it originated from. And the more I've gotten to know Mike, and Mike's gotten to know Chris and I and Cory and the podcast, we've become very good friends. I go out to Pittsburgh every single year to see Mike. When Mike comes to Columbus, we try to get together, and he comes to, Wargo comes to our tailgate in the spring every single year, hangs out with us, signs autographs, meets all of you fine folks, takes pictures with you. And this needs to be, more people need to know this. And the only way I know to do that is to put it in a book and put it out there for the world to find out about. So hopefully this goes well. But Mike and I are going to be spending a lot more time on Zoom meetings and Zoom calls and everything else, working on this. And it's going to be my project that I have been wanting to do for a while now, and I've been granted that opportunity by my employer to step away for a little while and do this. And I'm going to do this. I want to do this. There's more involved to it, folks, with on the podcast side of things than just that. But since Mike was here tonight, I wanted to announce that to everybody, that his story is going to be written, and he's granted me the opportunity to do that, and I appreciate that. So we'll give everybody updates as the book gets started and we get into it, and we've got a lot to figure out. So I've got a lot of people to contact and talk to and get their idea on how to go about doing this the right way. So it'll be fantastic. All right. That being said, chat. If you want to ask Mike a question this evening, now is your opportunity to do so. Please, if you put it in a super chat form, that way I make sure and see it. I'm doing multiple things at once here, so please make sure if you can afford it and do that, please do it so I catch it. If not, I'll do my best to catch your question, and we'll just keep going around in a circle here, asking Mike as many questions as we can. Okay, Cory, you're up first, buddy, to ask Wargo a question this evening, and I'll manage the chat, guys.
Well, I'd be more excited about the book, but I never learned to read, so I'm sorry.
Books on tape, Cory. Books on tape.
Oh, dang, you're right. I can do audio.
It's hard to read a book. Is this just me, or with all the stuff that we have and like all the distractions we have now? I can't remember the last time I completed a novel like the old days, just reading a book. It's hard to do because you got your iPad, you got your phone, and audiobooks. So
I've actually found I can't finish a book unless it's a physical book. It's in my hands. I can't read it off of like a screen or something. But
yeah,
I'm a little old school that way. But anyway, Mike, I would like to get your. I think the offensive line's playing really well this year so far. I've heard some people complain about that. Well, we can't get 3 yards on the goal line type of thing. Explain to the audience why that's a lot harder than people think down there when everybody's crunched in together to move that line.
Well, you got the goal line offense. You know, when you're on goal line there to get that 3 yards, it's just an all man out war, and the defensive linemen get lower if you're talking about goal line. But you know, it's it basically like what I said about the Texas game. When we have that kind of movement back, that's what we're looking for. But it is harder. And if you take a look at football, it's kind of changed a lot from when I was there decades ago, where we're spreading it out more, we're passing it to Jeremiah Smith and what have you, and you know, it just comes down to fundamentals and everything like that. So I like what I see so far. I mean, as I said, I don't watch the game as close as you guys do. We were in a party situation at a watch party in Pittsburgh, but that Texas was really impressive, driving guys back like that. And I just think we're strong on every level this year.
Chris?
You know, obviously, you're called Ohio State's Rudy. We know your story as far as being a walk-on. You know, and there's rumor that kind of the walk-on thing is going to go away completely. So what advice would you give to a current college athlete or a student who's maybe a walk-on or maybe just not starting right now, but wants to get out there and make an impact and get their moment?
Like they're already on the team, or like
they're already on the team.
All right. Well, for me, you got to keep at the grind. It just wears on you. When you're a walk-on, this is the way it was decades ago. I assume it's the same way now. Most coaches don't even know you exist. You are like an invisible person. Bobby Hoying's locker was across from mine. Obviously, he was a starter for 3 years. The coaches on your first year, hey, how you doing, Bobby? How's it going? Hey, how's it going? And then, hey, coach, and they would just walk by. And then finally, if you kept going for a while, they might recognize you. But being a walk-on is very, very tough. It's mentally tough. You are at the bottom of the barrel, especially a student walk-on. And like at Ohio State, a lot of those guys were invited. So they could have gotten scholarships anywhere else in other schools. If you're a raw walk-on, they expect you to be gone like in the next practice. So you just got to have that when the days are dark and like I'm never going to get in, this is ridiculous. And there were so many times I came so close to quitting. And I said, this is pointless. And I worked so hard. And, I went to all the conditioning sessions for 1993. And I passed my conditioning test. I was benching 400 pounds. And the first game, I didn't play. And other people played that I thought I worked harder than. We played against Rice. And I was so frustrated. I threw my helmet in the locker room. I didn't behave very well just because I was so damn frustrated. I'm like, what the hell can I do to ever play here? I've tried everything, but I just stuck it out. I said, you know what? I'm just going to stick it out to the end of 1993. Well, I'm not going to quit. I came so close many times, and then the ball just started. It bounced my way. That Rudy movie came out. The guy from the Dispatch wanted to interview me, and it was like, just like a fire. A little spark happened, and then all of a sudden this happened, and all of a sudden I went from not playing when we beat Rice 35-7. I was going to quit, where they basically played everybody that had a pulse that day on the sideline, to where I got in the game. Oh, my God, I'm on the news. Oh, my God, look at this. And, oh, my God, 35 years later, look what's going on here. So you just like life. It's just life. It's nothing special. Don't give up. Don't give up no matter what it is. If you want to stay committed, don't give up. And in the dark days, you got to remember that. And one of the coolest guys in the world was Kirk Herbstreit. Greatest guy. I mean, he's an awesome dude. I never got to see him again. Like, he's always, game day or whatever. But I was just really down one day. And this guy's a starting quarterback. And I'm like the lowest walk-on the team. And he's like, hey, man, stick it out. If you ever want to talk about anything, I'm here for you. I'll never forget that. And there were guys on the team. A bunch of them were like that. I got to see a bunch of them last week. Alan DeGraffenreid, another great guy. He gave me great advice and just he was there. And I'm so glad I got to hang out with him last week. I was so tired. I'm sorry I didn't get to hang out with you, Eric. I just didn't have any energy left at the end of the night. But let's definitely get together. But just don't give up. It's like life. It's really not anything special.
Yeah, that's great. I think we should send that to Herbie. I'll try to clip that and send that to Herbie. See if we can get a hold of him for you.
Maybe we can get back on his good side, Eric.
maybe we can.
He's the greatest guy, man. He's just so good to me. And when I got in that game, he was on WBNS. He made sure to tell everybody on the radio about it. He interviewed me. I have that interview somewhere. I'll play it for you. He interviewed me on the radio. My voice was like, 30 years younger. And you could tell he was brand new in the industry. He's not like the smooth, polished guy now. He's like, hey, and he was starting out. It's a really cool interview. And he went out of his way to be great to me. But he's one of many Buckeyes. Most of the people on the team were awesome to me. You just got to stick it out.
Here's a quick question for you from Andre. Will you be attending any other Ohio State home games this season? He said.
I'm thinking Penn State. I have a lot of fun here just with the Alumni Club of Pittsburgh. We like having our parties. As I get older, I got to have the most stress-free experiences possible. I went out Friday night for Grambling, got a hotel room, and I Ubered to the game, not have to deal with parking. And then I Ubered back. But I'm thinking maybe Penn State. And maybe one other game in between. I'm going to probably do one other home game, before the end of the year.
James, good to see you here with us this evening, James. He says, hey, earlier he said maybe it'll become a movie. He says, who would play Wargo in the movie? Give me an actor that you would want to portray you. Now, Wargo had hair back then when he was in college. Keep that in mind.
Man, that's a good question. Maybe like Mark Wahlberg. He'll bulk up, and he can play anything. He's one of my favorite actors. I don't know. I mean, who else is out there now that's an
Oh shoot, I don't know. It's got to be a young actor too, because you were what 20 or
21?
21.
It's hard to believe.
So it's got to be someone, who's young, and I don't know. All the old actors I know are.
That's right. I mean, I'm thinking about people my age. That's how we're stuck in time. We still think we're in
Yeah.
our 20s and everything. I don't know.
Maybe the chat can help us out, man. How big were you? What was your height and
I
weight?
was 6'1", and I was at the time 270.
6'1", 270, guys.
Yeah.
Get some actors. Throw some possibilities in the chat.
And
Let's
I'm now 40 pounds away from getting a 270 again. So
Look
I'm
at
excited.
you, big
We
dog.
might see it again.
Yeah, way to go, man.
Let's not hold our breath, but
I mean, do we really like stalk actors' sizes and stuff like that? Because I gotta be honest with you, whoever's 6'1" in Hollywood, you got me.
It would be a low budget flick, so we'd have to get somebody maybe down on their career. What do you think? We would have to have a Rudy actor, a guy like
Oh, Sean Astin.
There we go. We'll get him out.
He's like, I've done this before.
Yeah, but you can do it now for the best team around, Ohio State. I mean, come on. But
one more here, and then we'll go back to Cory and Chris with another one. This one's from Nick Quint, our buddy Nick Quint. Good to see you tonight as well. This is a great question. I love this new tradition, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's great.
He says Wargo needs to be the victory bell ringer for a game. Yeah, hey,
Yes.
maybe if we make this book and it gets in the hands of the right person and he reads it, maybe the athletic director.
I'm going to be honest. I was really scared for Coach Coop last week. He's ringing that thing. He's going up and down, and he looked like he was
almost taking him up with it.
The guy's almost 90. For a second, I'm like, I hope this works out, but he's still in great shape. But I was a little nervous when I saw in the video on the scoreboard he was doing it.
So let me change this question slightly for you, Mike. Who would you like to see ring the bell over at the Shoe for a game?
Oh man, who would I like to see ring the victory bell? Eddie George.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Can he make the game?
Bye week, or if they have a Thursday night.
Yeah, he's so busy, he's not going to be able to ring the victory bell for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe Bowling Green has a bye week. You think he'll be a major, he's there now, but do you think he'll be at the level of like a Ryan Day one day?
Well, I know this much. On the radio, they were talking, if he succeeds in the next couple years, they don't anticipate him being at Bowling Green very long.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree.
How talented is that guy? Everything he does is just incredible. Great athlete. He was an actor. He was on Ballers. You ever see Ballers with The Rock?
He was on Ballers. He was on.
He has a guest star on a lot of different things.
He was on Coach for one episode. I remember that.
I think on Ballers, he was a guy that I think The Rock was like a character where he was a financial advisor. That's what I do for my day job. But he lost Eddie George a lot of money. It was a great. The guy just does so much stuff. It's just amazing what he does.
That one's for you, buddy, Chris.
Eddie was on he brought his Heisman Trophy on Coach, and allegedly Jerry Van Dyke had greasy hands and he let it slip and crush Eddie's foot or something like that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
All right, Cory, go for it, big dog.
Well, first I do want to bring up one other Rudy. We have Rudy, we got Mike. Two very important stories. Also, if you get a chance to see the movie Greater with Brandon Burlsworth, is an excellent movie. Not just because of what happened with him. I mean, it's a sad ending. I'm not going to spoil it. But that being said, because of how expressive he was about his faith, I think is a really good message. But
Wasn't that the guy from Arkansas?
Yeah, the guy from Arkansas. Yeah. Just all these are great stories. And Mike, I'm gonna read the book, and if it turns into a movie, I'll be first in line to see it in the theaters, 100%. Because why wouldn't you? I love these stories. Because they're so. You talked about it. Never give up. It seems like a simple message, but man, it's so true. Because every one of us in our lives, no matter what we're doing, we feel like just giving up. And the fact that you were able to pull this off and make one of the greatest teams in the country, that's just an impressive story. And I can't wait for the book. Can't wait for the movie's coming. I don't know who the actor is going to be, but the movie's going to come.
We don't know who the actor is going to be, but we've got a director-producer lined up, right, Eric?
Yeah, Marcus Hall.
Well, I think Eric should play Mike.
I'm 44 years old. Shave my head. I'm Mike right now. Come on, man.
Oh,
Well, they can do
man.
great things with digital. With digital
CGI. Well, CGI. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
So
thank you very much. It's nice. All you guys, thank you very much. It's I love working with you guys, and I always love coming on here. This is great.
Oh yeah, talking Buckeye football. What's better than that in life at this point, right? But we're in the first quarter of the football season.
It is.
But,
It's the greatest time in a while. I had like an awesome weekend just enjoying and just Buckeye football and just got to hang out in town this weekend and we had our game watch was great. Steeler game, oh well, things happen, but just had a great weekend. Football, it's really the best time of the year.
Oh, 100%. Plus the wind, the temperature's getting cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you're very, in our times of talking on this show, you're obviously a very mature fan. You understand how to put things in context and perspective. I really appreciate that more than I even put in words. Because I used to be that crazy emotional fan, fire them after every. I mean, I make fun of it on the podcast when we do live watch, but that's how I was 15 years ago.
I think we all felt that way after Michigan.
15 years ago. There's a few of us who were there 15 months ago, Cory.
Yeah.
True,
Thank
but
God for the 12-team playoff. Ryan Day is still here because of that, I think.
it's true we felt that way, but I'll tell you, we had at least enough built up to feel that way. I mean, some people like Mike was saying that during the Ohio game, fire Ryan Day. It's just like, oh my God. So I got into it a little bit yesterday about, I was kind of getting mad at some of the commenters, the people commenting saying, no, should we take Julian out? I just don't. What do you got to say to fans like that? Because you've been around players, man, that develop and get better and work, and you see the work ethic they put into it. What do you have to say to fans who just don't see all that, but they just make snap judgment calls?
I mean, even 30 years ago, it was still, intense Buckeye fans, and it was really hard. There was this story. We lost to Iowa. This was 1991. So after the game, me and my buddies went down to OU. They had this awesome Halloween every single year. And that was a big mistake, because OU really didn't. They're not the OU team that was played. OU back then went like 0-11. They were terrible. So everybody at OU has to coach the Buckeyes in their spare time. And I had a few too many beers, angry about the loss. And then, all these people, Bernard Edwards on the team. Oh, he's a piece of garbage. These people these guys are my friends. And I just wanted to start swinging at these people. I took it so personally. And when you're on the team, it's so hard. And these guys, they got to do a great job. And imagine what I had to deal with, and then magnify that by a million times. There was no social media back then. So you at least had some peace. But you just got to say, look, man, it's a game. I mean, we all love this. It's great. It's a huge part of my life. But in the end of the day, it's a game. These guys are still 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. How different are we than when we were 18, 19, or 20? And, it's okay. Yet you're a fan. You pay a lot of money for the games. It's expensive to go to the games now. But keep that in mind and have a little bit of context. And, it's not the end of the world if we lose. Mm-hmm. It's going to come back, especially with the 12-team playoff now. Yeah, I mean, Michigan, I'm getting pumped up on that. I mean, I know it's a ways away, but we know that's still a big elephant in the room, and it's coming. It's coming. And, I'm not going to even say that's going to happen. We got to beat the crap out of them, but we've said that how many times in the previous years. Mm-hmm. It's just calm down. Don't panic. I think a lot of these people, like the bots and the people that write just crazy things, like some of these commenters, 99% of them are awesome, by the way. They just need attention. In my opinion, most of those people that do stuff like that troll, they're still in mommy's basement. They're probably 50. I hate the Buckeyes. Fire Ryan Day. Oh, my God. Honey, did you try to find a job yet? No, Mom, I'm still writing. So I think that's most of those people that do that. Not saying that valid criticism isn't necessary, but you're going to have trolls no matter what you do. My advice is calm down. It's a game. True Buckeye fans know we have a great team. And most people that are realistic knows, even though this is probably the best dynasty in Ohio State football that we're seeing right now. And even the greatest teams are going to hit bumps in the road every once in a while. But, that's what the advice I would give.
Excellent.
Chris.
A lot's made of the team's culture right now. The makeup of the coaches, the makeup of the players. Can you share some, I think, insights about the team culture and some of the traditions within Ohio State football during your years with Ohio State?
Sure. Our team culture, everybody was very close to each other. I was surprised as a walk-on, as I said with the coaches kind of don't know you exist, but most of the players, you really accept you. If they see you out there doing the sprints and you're doing everything that they're doing, especially the guys on scholarship, like you're a walk-on, like a lot of people are initially like, why do you do this, man? If I didn't have a scholarship, I wouldn't be here. I think you're crazy. But if you keep going, they respect that. So it's a big family. We were always very protective of Coach Cooper because Coach Cooper got a lot of negative comments all the time, as I said. So it's a family atmosphere. I love this team, like what I see, how religious and everything, and they really bring God into their life, which I think, not to comment on current situation, but I think we really need more God in our life right now with what's going on. We'll just leave it at that. This is a sports show, but it's just, I love seeing this team. You can tell they love each other. You can tell they love each other. And what I was afraid of is in the age of NIL, in the age of how much you're going to pay me to be here, in the age of that, I still see that team camaraderie. I still see that team love on this team. And I mean, it's so much different. Like, if you ate a spaghetti dinner and somebody paid for it, that's an NCAA violation back then. Now, the stuff they get now legally, SMU got the death penalty for decades ago. So it's so much different. But what I love is this team really seems to love each other. There's cohesion. I think it's the same thing. I think they care about Coach Day like that. I think after the Michigan loss, when they had that heart-to-heart meeting, I think this team, I see a lot of love on this team, and I think they really back Coach Day. And that's the same thing I think we have with Coach Cooper. Everybody I can't remember a player that didn't really like Coach Cooper. Obviously, some people disagree with him if they weren't playing. But nobody could ever say Coach Cooper was a bad guy. He was a great guy. He would always give you another chance. Sometimes he gave people, too many chances if you make mistakes. But I feel that same kind of love with this team. I'm not on the inside. This is what I see from the outside. But that's what we had, I feel, at Ohio State. In that reunion last week, I got to see those guys, and it was just great.
All right, let's get to a couple more of your questions, everybody. I've tried my best to manage them and keep them straight here. Let's see here. Andre wants me to make it happen to have Wargo dot the I at the Buckeye home game before the season. If I had that kind of power, I wouldn't be on this podcast tonight. I'll tell you that.
I'm a trumpet player, so you
Yeah.
have to play tuba for that.
I'll say this. Let's take this question and twist it. Mike, is there somebody you would like to see dot the I?
I'd like to see Coach Coop do it. Okay. I don't think he ever has.
No, he hasn't.
I'd like to see Coach Coop do it. I think
Earl Bruce was the last coach that got to do it.
Yeah. That might get some weird comments, and that's fine. I know, like Cooper, when you say Coach Cooper, people still get that, oh, my God. But like I just said in my last thing, he was a great guy. He was very good at Ohio State. Ryan Day, actually, I think is going to beat – he was the second winningest coach. Ryan Day's got to be getting close to 100 wins. How close is he?
He's 74 right now.
Okay, so if he's still there for a few more years with the games they're playing, Coop's still the second winningest coach in Ohio State history behind Woody. So I'd like to see him dot the I.
Good one. Nick Quint, this is a current question from current roster for you, Mike. Do you think Ryan Day should have Julian Sain run the football more often or develop more running plays or just keep Julian in the pocket?
I'm not a quarterback's coach, but he looks like a pocket passer to me. What do you guys think? More of a – Yeah. I think he's doing great. I mean, his development, that test against Texas was incredible. Deep down, I'm like, man, it's a brand new quarterback. They're playing Texas. This could not go well, but he was really, really impressive. He's still a young guy, so he's going to make some mistakes, but I'm happy with the way Julian Sain's playing right now. I think he's just doing a great job.
Tyler, our residential I hate everything about the state up north fan, says, Wargo, I got a question for you. How do you think them Michigan fans will react if they lose to Nebraska next week?
Well, they're the worst fans in the land, too. How can you be proud to be a Michigan fan? I mean, seriously, you got that national championship. How can you say you got that national championship? That's like, remember there was a guy in the 72, somebody that cheated in the Olympics, and they got a ride to like the goal line at the marathon or something. How can you feel good about that? The way we earned our national championship, they live in Delusionville up there. The NCAA is a joke. Like, how many years have we talked about we're going to have the big party when Michigan gets the death penalty with sanctions? And it never happened. It was, we're going to pay you a little bit of money. So I think they're going to be miserable. I think they're going to be delusional. And I think we're going to enjoy every single second of that. And I hope Nebraska crushes them.
Cory, back to you, big dog.
I second all that sentiment by Mike. I hope Nebraska crushes them. When we do the live watch this week, we are all Cornhuskers. I'm going to have a blast if they beat them. And by the way, they're going to find out Nebraska's not Central Michigan. Nebraska's got a solid football team. I tell you, let me ask you, Mike. When I think I've asked you something similar in the past, but I kind of want to dive deeper into it. Like out of state guys, when they recruit out of state guys, how do they develop that hatred of the team up north with guys who weren't around it too much growing up?
When I was at Ohio State, if there's anything that it may be like a criticism, I wouldn't say a criticism, but I just think our approach to Michigan maybe could have been a little bit better back in the 90s. The practices were really hyped up. And it just seemed like everybody would get really stressed out for the Michigan game in the 90s. That's my one. Like, they would stripe the helmets up. They would blast a fight song. And I understand it was a motivational tactic and everything. But it's just, you learn the culture pretty fast. I think when Tressel got there, the emphasis on Michigan was a lot more. But, let's face facts. If Coop's record against Michigan would have been the other way around, he'd be a legendary coach, at Ohio State. You guys, when you do your introduction, Coop would be in there. But it's learning the culture. Once you get in there very quickly, I think you learn the culture very fast. Even Quinn Ewers, when she was on the team for 120 days, like from August to when he left. When he went and Texas played Michigan the next year, he was going off. That's the team up north. That's the team up north. We got to get them. Quinn Ewers, who was on the team for like a New York Minute, already was talking about the tradition with Ohio State. So I think that gets ingrained very, very quickly. And when you go into Woody Hayes now, they have the countdown clock. I like what they've done over the years, really emphasize the game. But when we were there, I think if they would just approach that more, just relaxed. And every single time we lost, and I think Ryan Day's gone through this, the pressure's a little bit more. It's like a weight. You got to beat Michigan. You got to beat Michigan. Oh, my God, it's 3 times, 4 times. And they just got to relax and play. And I think they should set a minimum of 50 points to nothing this year for the Michigan game. So I think they get used to it pretty quickly. The culture gets ingrained once you arrive there. Even it doesn't matter where you're from.
Wildman. You're muted.
So we've talked about this before. You are a huge advocate for Coach Cooper, and had he played in this era of the expanded playoff, who only knows how many championships he may have conceivably had, because outside of that game, he was pretty solid.
Yeah.
But getting back to that, as you look back, how many championships do you feel Coach Cooper could have won under this format?
Well, under the 12-team playoff, okay, this is great because we're going to rewrite history. We're going in a DeLorean here. Okay, 93. Okay, mm-hmm. we went 10-1-1. We tied Wisconsin. We got crushed by Michigan. That was one of those Cooper. It was a disaster. Nothing went right. Interceptions and everything. We ended up beating BYU in the Holiday Bowl. I think we could have had a chance there. Obviously, I wish we would have because I was on the team. But if we start the 12-team playoff, I think that could have been one. But the ones that were really That's me, like, kind of because I'm just biased because I was on that team. But I think they had a chance. 96 for if we can curse, for damn sure. 96, they just had that one slip up at the end when they played the Michigan game. I think that could have easily been – they ended up being number 2 anyway with Arizona State, but I think that could have been a championship year for Coop. And then 98. So I think he could have taken home at least 2 natties, 96 and 98, and 93. 94 is more of a rebuilding year. Possibly 95. That was a good year too, if I remember right. Like, we went pretty good, but he really got that program going in the mid 90s. I mean, he had that program going. The recruits we had, some of them were just absolutely incredible. So I think Coop could have had a dynasty almost, in the mid 90s. I mean, he started faltering off. How he ended up losing his job was like 90. After 98, 99 was just a really mediocre season, and in 2000. Andy Geiger, I think, never really liked Coach Cooper, and he was looking for a reason. And, at the end of 2000, there was just a lot of crazy stuff going on. And, obviously, looking back, it probably was the right decision to hire Tressel. So but definitely mid-90s. I'd say 93, 95, 96, and 98, legitimate shot for natties. I think 96 and 98, the highest probability.
All right, let's take a couple more of your questions, everybody. Let's go with Buck Vaders. Vaughn says, I spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh growing up. What's it like for a Buckeye fan there?
Well, Pittsburgh started for me after college ended. So I've been here for the last 30 years. But that's a good question. They're mostly indifferent. Obviously you got Pitt here, but there's a Penn State element, and I'm going to show you something here real fast. But basically what will happen sometimes is Pitt will be like, you Buckeye. I'll say it like a Pittsburgh. Yeah, you Buckeyes suck. You guys are no good. And yeah. So, like, sometimes we get Pitt fans in our face. And I show them, well, we played you guys in 2006, and we beat you 72-0. So, that keeps them calm and everything. But people in Pittsburgh are really nice. But it's just, you don't really see a following for Ohio State. But we do get a nice alumni club because people within 3 hours go to Ohio State. So we have a very good, solid contingent. I think it's more indifference. You got your Pitt fans and Penn State fans.
Sean with a really good question here. He says, Wargo, do you think Raymont Harris gets overlooked because he was the running back between Robert Smith and Eddie George?
He was such a solid back. That whole thing that happened with Robert Smith, in 1991, I was on the team for like 5 days, and they called a meeting, and Robert just says, I'm not going to be on the team, and he had issues with Elliot Uzelak, and Raymont Harris stepped in and just really did a great job. He had a great pro career. He had some really solid performances. I don't really know if he's overlooked. I mean, he's a legend among himself. And it's just there's so many great running backs, and it's just that was kind of a reload situation. So he always called himself an ultra back, which is what he was. I mean, he was the quiet storm. That was his nickname, and he just he really did good. So I don't really think that. It's just there's just so many, and he always he had a great career in the pros. So I don't necessarily think that.
It's one of the better nicknames in Ohio State history, I think, the Quiet Storm. Yeah. That is fantastic. It's so unique and different. It's a great nickname.
Another great guy, another super great guy, super human being. He was really awesome to me on the team. And I had a skirmish with I didn't get along with one of the starting defensive linemen, and it was kind of like a situation we would go back and forth. And one day I said, I don't care. And I just went nuts in practice, and everybody saw it. And Raymont Harris sat down, and he's like, Raymont Harris sat down to me in the locker room the next day. He's like, I really respect what you did. I respect what you did standing up to that person. And then, it was great. So he's like, those guys, he said, those guys used to, I was on a scout team for a couple of days before they realized that, I could play. And those guys weren't cool to me. And then they wanted to be my best friends. And I said, no, you guys treated me badly. And he told me, he's like, I really respect what you did. So he's another awesome individual.
Another question from Nick Quinn about this team. He said, should Lincoln Keenholz be more involved in the game like yesterday where he came in more? Do you think that should be something that Ryan Day and this offense should look at doing?
We definitely need depth. We definitely need depth. And, I think he brings some good things to the table. We don't even want to say why we need the depth, but we all know why we need a second-team quarterback to be in there. So if we're in situations where, we're up pretty big, we got to get him some playing time. So sure.
All right, let's go back around with Cory and Chris here.
I'm going to make Eric sad. It looks like Joe Burrow's out for 3 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turf toe. I just
Are
saw
you
the.
freaking serious?
No, I saw him carried off the field earlier.
Yeah, I'm serious. Actually, they're reporting it. They fear it's a grades A or something. I don't know how they describe it, but the turf toe is going to keep him off the field for a while. So Jake Browning is your quarterback for a while.
Like I said, Bungles.
Anything I can do to make
maybe Cleveland won't finish last in the division.
Yeah, anything I can do to improve your day, Eric.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Mike, can you refresh my memory? Who were the quarterbacks that played while you were at Ohio State? Was Bobby Hoying starting yet, 93?
My first year was 91. That was Ken Graham. He was a transfer from Notre Dame. He was on the Lou Holtz 1988 championship team.
Okay.
And then it was Herbie for 92. And then the last 2 years was Bobby Hoying.
Okay, I gotcha. I just couldn't remember who was like filling the gap, and I knew Bobby was like in that 93, 94 time frame. I just couldn't remember if he was how early back and what he was.
Got another one, Cory?
I'm trying to think. My brain's not working. It's getting late.
I'll give you time. Chris, go for it, man.
All right. So Mike, your playing days are long since over.
Oh yeah.
How did your experience as a Buckeye kind of shape your personal and professional life after your playing days and after your college years?
It really is the foundation of everything. Just doing that at the time, as I said, being a walk-on, like what we talked about, you're the lowest of the totem pole when you're a student tryout walk-on. And just to be able to handle to do it, and all the people, and we've talked about this in the past before, hey, I'm going to walk on to Ohio State. You're insane. You're not going to even make the team. You're crazy. This guy wants to walk on to Ohio State. And when I made the team, and then I did it, I got to play, and for at least that 30-second slot, I was with one of the best teams in the world, playing with the best players, guys that were going to be NFL stars. And I'm Mike Wargo, the fat kid that, couldn't run the mile in 7th grade. So that shaped me with everything. Any adversity, especially. We talk about adversity in life. Life isn't easy a lot of times. You face adversity, whether business, whether things maybe aren't going as well as they should. That experience, it goes back to don't quit. Don't give up no matter what happens. And sometimes that's not good. Sometimes if you're in a bad situation, you probably should stop. But that spirit always ingrains me. It just, going through the experiences on that team, getting knocked around, getting hit, just dealing with violence every single day, like crashing into people that were going to be in the NFL. It kind of hardens you. And it really has approached me with business and everything else. And, especially dealing with setbacks. That's the number one thing when you're a walk-on. Like what I talked about, I worked really hard for winter and summer conditioning, and I didn't get to play in the first game when we were up by 35 points. It helps you deal with setbacks like that. So, and just, things in life. I mean, we all try to do a couple things in life. This definitely was a highlight of my life. I mean, I've done some other things. I like what I do with my life, but nothing's really ever topped walking on to Ohio State and playing. This is why I'm here tonight talking to you guys. So it's really been just the foundation of my life moving forward.
Here's a couple more questions for you in the chat we'll get to here in closing. And then I'll let Cory and Chris ask one more question tonight. This one's from Buck Vader again. He says, do you think a team could still be competitive in the power I offense?
I think with modern football, that would be hard. What do you think? I mean, on certain plays, yeah, but it's just the game's evolved so much. I mean, that's kind of like saying, I can't think of an analogy, but things have changed so much with the offenses and everything. So I think that would be tough. I mean, if you just had, I guess, superstars, the best line around, like remember those Nebraska guys, and they could drive people back like they did with Ohio State, Texas every single play. I guess, but it'd be. I can't see that. It's just such a different era in football.
Tyler with another snarky question tonight. I got another question, Wargo. How do you think Arch Manning is playing? Since he was claimed to be the Heisman Trophy winner at the beginning of the year until we played him.
Yeah, we that was a reckoning for him. Obviously, your name's Manning. You're going to have that pressure from the start. I think we handled him so well that first game. I haven't tracked him in his games after that, but definitely so far not up to expectations for sure.
Wargo, ask the guys that sing the Pittsburgh Steelers polka. What is he talking about? I don't even know what that. Does the Steelers have a polka song?
Yeah. I know two Steelers songs. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. And then there's another one remember Troy Polamalu?
Yeah.
He was awesome. Great defensive back. This one goes, Pamamaloo. 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 But I will research the Pittsburgh polka. I know that's embarrassing. I've lived in this town for 30 years, but I will research it and have more information on the next one on that. But they're the ones I remember. But now it's we used to sing Pittsburgh's going to Super Bowl, and it's here we go, Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to have a winning season. Here we go. We're going to get one more win, etc.
Was it who did the Super Bowl shuffle? Was that the Bears?
Bears, 85 Bears.
They were just honored in a reunion. They had those guys on the sideline for 40 years.
That was.
Is Refrigerator Perry still alive? I was wondering if he was still around.
I know that Mongo just passed away, unfortunately.
Did he?
MS, yeah.
Oh, that's sad. I remember that, yeah.
But he got to see himself enshrined in the Hall of Fame.
The Refrigerator, that was another inspiration. The fat kid on the junior high football team. Why should I do this? It's a boring position. And I saw a Refrigerator just destroy two defensive linemen for the touchdown when the Bears had that Monday night game. So I'm like, yeah, that's another thing that inspired me to stay in football.
The Fridge is 62 years young still.
Good. He's still on the planet. Good. And his younger brother is Michael Dean. He was on the Browns for a few years.
Yeah.
Corey, Chris, either one of you have any questions left?
Sure, I got one. Mike, out of all the practices and the time you did get to play on the field and things like that, if you have any, like can you point to one moment and go, man, I wish I'd have handled that differently?
I wish I would have handled that differently.
I guess it's a weird way of asking, do you have any regrets?
Yes. And this is a big one, and thanks for asking this one. I hurt my knee spring practice in '94. Okay, I got in the game, the play against Penn State. Like I said, as a walk-on, you're basically ignored. Okay, so what that means is when you're a walk-on, when people are getting reps in practice, that's the goal that you want, you're not getting any reps in practice. Okay, spring practice. Spring practice, I was in the peak time of my life. I was benching 440. I had one of the highest benches on the Ohio State team. I was like 280 pounds. They let us run. Not that I would have ever made it, but when you're going to be a senior at Ohio State, you get to run for the NFL scouts. It just doesn't matter if you ever, So I was like, I actually that day dreamed I was actually going to be an NFL football player. Obviously, I was delusional, but I ran like a 5.240, which for me was awesome and pretty good for offensive linemen. So spring practice, I was actually working in with the second team at that point. And then one of the stupidest things happened, I dislocated my patella, my kneecap, the patella tendon, whatever that is that what you call it, the patella.
Mhm.
I dislocated my kneecap. We were doing some drill in mud, and my kneecap just goes off to the side and the back. And that happened in high school, and it happened again. And I knew I wasn't right. Like I was having trouble with the conditioning. I wasn't running and everything. And, but when you get in that game, it's like an addiction. You'll do anything to play in a game again. And then finally, we were doing our physicals for 1994, and I saw Coach Cooper standing right next to me when I started talking to the orthopedic surgeon. And Coach Cooper goes, "We'd like you to become a student intern coach." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm a player." He's like, "Mike," he goes, "your knee's not right." And he goes, "Look," he goes, "I don't want you to get hurt and have you be crippled for life if you get hurt again." And I was so angry, I just realized, and deep down I knew that things weren't working anyway. And if I would have went out there, I really could have gotten messed up. But I was so upset. He's like, "Look," he goes, "there's other ways to help this team." He goes, "You can be, we're going to have you be a student assistant coach. And, you can help out and everything." And I was so angry, not at Coach. I was just mad at the situation. I left the team that day and never came back. And, that was a massive, that was the biggest regret I ever had. I wish I could go back now and just say, you know what? Okay, the playing career is over. I could see the coaches. I could see what it's like from their point of view, and maybe that would have led to something. Who knows? I'm not saying I would have been like, a big time head coach or anything, but that's the one regret I had, because I could have still stayed with the 1994 team, would have been able to travel to the games, actually would have gotten some gold pants that year because we beat Michigan. So that's the biggest regret I ever had. If I could get in a DeLorean, I would have said, "All right, Coach, I understand. Thank you for caring about me to where, you're not just having me go in there to be dog meat, to be another body for the players." And I would have said, "Thank you." And I did when I saw him again one time. I said, "You know what? Thank you very much for that offer," years later. And I said, "I was sorry I didn't do that." So that's my biggest regret.
Chris, you got a last one?
All right, Mike, we know this is an important one, guys. This is very important. We know steak on a stone is your meal of choice these days.
Man, I'm hungry.
But we're
too. Dang it,
gonna
Chris.
hop in that DeLorean one more time. We're gonna go back to your time on campus. You can only have one. Is it Papa Joe's, Adriatico's, or Tommy's Pizza?
My favorite one, those are all awesome, but my favorite one is the one I enjoyed this past weekend. Donato's Works. Donato's Works has always been my favorite pizza. At the end of the Tuesday practice was the 3-hour hard grinding practice, and I would always celebrate the end of practice on Wednesday night with a Donato's pizza. And this is beyond pathetic, but watching Beverly Hills 90210. Of course, back then you didn't gain any weight, so I'd take down that 3,000 calorie Donato's pizza, no problem. I tried to do that afterwards, and I was 130 pounds heavier than I am now.
That's funny you mentioned the Beverly Hills 90210 thing, because
I'm expecting the comments to blow up now, blasting me with this.
I was thinking back, my mother or my grandmother, I can't remember which, she's telling me the story. My uncle played basketball at Rio Grande University. And there was one day where they were traveling, a big group of the players were traveling on the road, and they all stopped at my grandmother's house to watch Days of Our Lives.
Bum, 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 bum. And now is the Days of Our Lives.
So that's just
shoot. Thank you so much, everybody who hung out with us in the chat. Andre Green says, "Thank you, Wargo, for joining us for the show tonight. You are truly an Ohio State Buckeye legend, man."
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be on this show and always have a great time. This capped off an awesome weekend for me. So thank you guys. And I can't wait to see you guys soon.
TG Sport, TG says, "Awesome to have you on the show, Wargo. Great interview."
Thank you.
TG does a couple shows on our channel here now, so maybe her and Tyler, they interview a lot of Buckeyes. Maybe Sean. They can get you, or Sean. Gosh, okay. I did it again. I did it Saturday morning too. Someone just needs it, and I'm singing the Beverly Hills Cop to Beverly Hills.
I got that in your head.
Yeah. Maybe Sean and TG can get you on their program and interview as
Okay.
well, man.
Hey, Cory.
You mean Tyler?
Misa think Eric's still a little
Stop it.
nuts from last night.
This was awesome.
Hey,
Thanks,
do
Central.
do Beverly Hills 90210 theme to Jar Jar. Do that.
You guys are
Oh, then
killing
there's
me.
Melrose Place. All right, that's before you guys this time. I forget I'm old.
But
It's
but
not
Mike,
before our
I'm right
time.
there
No,
with
Chris
you.
is my age. Chris is my age to almost
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, say what you will, the girls on those shows were just hotter back then.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I had an older brother your guys' age, so I saw all of it too. So I know exactly.
I saw the
things, so.
reruns eventually. So.
We got to see Kelly Kapowski become the bad girl.
Oh yeah, Tiffany Amber Thiessen. She's still wow, she's still awesome. She seems like a really nice person.
Wargo.
Maybe she could be in the Rudy movie somehow.
There it is. Is that going to be your mother in the movie, Wargo?
Well, we couldn't figure
I
out
was
who
thinking
to
a
have
different
play.
role.
We couldn't figure out who to have as young Mike, but I'm thinking Kevin James could rock it as older Mike.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this evening. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already. It's good to have Wargo back with us once again. We will have a call-in show tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on the OHIO podcast. Make sure you check that one out. TG and Sean will be back Tuesday
Tyler,
night.
yes.
Corey, you're making it worse for me. Quit it. TG and
That's what I'm
Sean
here for.
TG and Sean will be back Tuesday night on the Buckeye Lounge. Don't forget TG and Mika Thursday night, the Buckeye Ladies. There will be no game preview for you this week on Wednesday, but we'll have some more content for you. Alex and myself are planning on doing a video for you guys for that, where we're kind of talking about where Ohio State stands currently in going into their first of two byes again this season. And of course, don't forget call-in show 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Chris will be back to do your college football call-in show Saturday morning, and then a 3:30 game watch between Nebraska and the team up north. The online voice of the Buckeyes, Cory, will be lending his services to the Cornhuskers for that game. So
Awesome.
it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's your schedule for this week, everybody. And, of course, we'll be back next Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on the OHIO podcast for another Sunday evening discussion roundtable. Till next time, everybody, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH in Carmen, Ohio, with all your heart. You guys know what to do here. OH!
I-O.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Thanks, everybody.
There we go.